right, now here we have some new stuff. So this is dealing with something called polar coordinates, which you may or may not have done. So we list points as r theta, and if you're wondering how to graph these, let's figure it out. So let's suppose r is 2, and then theta is pi over 4. So what that means is you go to the second circle and go to pi over 4, which is like right here. What if I do, say r is 5, and I go 7 pi over 6. So that's a little bit bigger than pi right there. So I went to the 5th circle out, went pi and a 6th more. So 5, 7 pi over 6. Now you can do spicy things. You could have, say, -3 comma pi. So if I was going to pi, it would be to the left here, but since we're going -3, it would be over here. So that would be in the same place as, say, 3, 0. So you can do some things like that. Play around with that idea. Maybe Google a polar graphing thing and see if you can plot some points and figure out how the points kind of work. Ooh, write an equation involving x, r, and theta. So I never remember kind of the specific equations. I have to think about it. So you can build some equations. So write an equation involving x, r, and theta. Well, that's just the cosine, right? The cosine of theta is x over r. And people will think of that as x equals r cosine theta. That's a substitution we will need. Write an equation involving y, r, and theta. So that's the sine. The sine of theta equals y over r. So y equals r sine theta. And again, if you can't remember it, just build yourself a picture. Write an equation involving, let's see, x, y, and r. Well, that's a right triangle. So x squared plus y squared equals r squared. It's like a circle. Write an equation involving x, y, and theta. So x, y, and theta would be the tangent. So the tangent of theta is y over x. Those are various substitutions you can use to kind of move between polar coordinates and rectangular coordinates, which is the xy coordinates. Keep them in mind. In terms of memorizing, I don't know. You could, you don't have to. It's definitely kind of dealer's choice there, and you can draw pictures if you forget. You can draw this triangle and kind of rebuild it. All right, now we got some converting from polar to rectangular. So we've got 2 theta. So we learned that x, so we have this triangle. We have theta here, x here, r here, y here. So the cosine of theta is x over r, so x equals r cosine theta. So if I have 2 theta, then x is going to be 2 cosine pi, and then y is r sine theta, so y is going to be 2 sine pi. So cosine of pi is -1, so that's -2. Sine of theta is 0, so that's the point -2, 0, which if you were to look back, that would make some sense. If you have 1, 0, so same idea, x is going to be 1 cosine 0, which is 1. I wrote theta, that was supposed to be a 0, sorry. And then y is 1 sine 0, which is, oh, it's still 1, 0. That was silly. Okay. And then 2 negative pi over 3. So that's going to be 2 cosine negative pi over 3 for the x. So cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. Negative pi over 3 is also 1/2. And then half of 2 is 1. And then 2 sine pi over 3. Negative pi over 3, sorry. Sine of pi over 3 is root 3 over 2. Negative pi over 3 would be negative root 3 over 2 times 2 is negative root 3. So that would be the point 1 comma negative root 3. Same idea to go from rectangular to polar. Well, we figured out that like x squared plus y squared is r squared, right? So that's 2 squared plus 2 squared is r squared, which means r is that's 4 and 4, so square root of 8. And then you could say the tangent of theta is, let's see, y over x. So that means the tangent of theta is going to be 2 over 2, which is 1. You do the arctangent of that, that's going to be pi over 4. Same idea for the next one. 3 squared plus 4 squared is 5 squared, so that's going to be r is 5. And then the tangent of theta is going to be y over x. So theta is going to be the arctangent of 4/3 of the negative radius. You don't have to know what that is. That's kind of more of a calculator question for that. There is like a 37-degree angle and stuff like that in a 3, 4, 5 triangle. But if you don't know that, that is okay. If I look at this one, so I have 2 squared is 4. 2 squared is 4 times 3 square root of 3 squared. So that's 12 plus 4, so that's 16. R is 4. And then we have the tangent of theta is going to be y over x, which is just the square root of 3. My brain's going to think of that as the square root of 3 over 2 over the square root of 3 over 2. Sorry, over 1 over 2. And I do that because that's sine over cosine. The sine is the square root of 3 over 2 at pi over 3. So that would be r theta, 4, and then pi over 3. You can do the last one. And then the last piece here, polar equation of x squared plus y squared equals 9. Well, isn't that r squared? So r squared equals 9. So r equals 3. I did it.